Okay, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So, in my last video, I said that I was a little bit skeptical if this would work, and it will not work. Well, the pump actually does fit, and the pump is pretty much the same exact design and everything, has the same shape, same plug here. So the pump will work, but the problem is that, or as you can see, the pump actually has two filters, one that attaches to the bottom of the pump and then one that attaches to the bottom of the casing, which is this one. This is the original. But this kit only came with one, and this one filter, which attaches here to the bottom of the pump, does not fit into the casing. It's too big. So I tried to find two original style filters to fit. You can't find them anywhere. So this is not going to work. So the idiot who claimed he had 40 years experience and he knows what he's doing and all this crap, because I questioned him and I even told him AC Delco does not make a filter for the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the 2002. And then he just went off, I have 40 years experience, I know what I'm doing, I know how to cross-reference, I sold thousands of these kits and they work. No, they don't, because you're missing one filter, and this filter that it comes with doesn't even fit. So this is going to go bye-bye. Going to return this garbage. So if you see this on eBay, don't fall for it, because it's not going to work. Avoid that part. Garbage. So the car's been laid up for, I don't know, 5 days now, and I'm waiting for a entire fuel pump assembly to be delivered. All because of idiots like this guy on eBay who say he knows what he's doing. No, you don't. Alright guys, I'll be back. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is a few days later. And this is my solution to the problem. I just got a Bosch fuel pump. That's the part number. And this one is made in Mexico, as you can see. And I'm a little more confident in buying items made in Mexico versus made in China. I'd rather they be made in the USA, but they're not. So it comes with the whole assembly, all intact. There's the other filter that was missing from the AC Delco kit that I bought, and it comes with a new seal that goes on the outside there. So I am going to install this back in here. I'm going to get everything lined up, and I'll get all the hoses attached. I will rest the fuel pump on the sliding center jack. I will then raise the sliding center jack just to get the fuel pump up and, you know, almost into place, but not entirely into place. And I won't bolt the fuel tank up to the car. I will then see if A, the car starts and runs, and B, if the fuel sending unit was going to work properly, because with most of those fuel pumps sold on Amazon, most of the people said after they installed it and after they did all that work, they realized the fuel gauge no longer worked. So to try to avoid that, I'm going to do half of the work and get it in there and in place and see if it works. If it works, then I'll button it up and finish the project. So that's where we are now. Okay, so I'm going to get that in there and then that over there. Much easier said than done, and hopefully we don't have any issues. And I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, just want to show you guys, I got the fuel tank cleaned out. There's no more gas in there. Everything is clean. Focus. That's just a stain. So, okay, I'm going to clean this surface here, put the new ring on, and then insert the fuel sending unit. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so I just even cleaned that outer ring. Here's the fuel pump. So basically, it's very simple. Get that wire out of the way. Just slide it down and in there. And that's pretty much it. Alright, and then here's the arrow, and I made a white mark. So just line up that arrow with the white mark, and then put this ring pretty much like that, and then tighten it down. And I'll just use the piece of wood with a mallet to turn that outer ring to tighten it up. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so I've got it in, I've got it tightened up. I got the arrow on the fuel pump lined up with the mark I had made on the tank, and even I made a mark on the outer ring that also lines up. So all three marks are lined up. The two lines are pointing that way. So now I am going to reattach those two lines, and then I will remove all of these caps I put on, and I guess we could then slide it under the car and get it into place, and then hook up all the hoses. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, so I've got the two lines hooked back up. One is going to be probably the feed line, and one's going to be the return line. There's the old unit. The old one had a little green mark here, and if you notice, one of the lines has a green tab. And also, you can't really mess this part up because this is thicker and this one is thinner. So the green line is thinner and this one is thicker. So you can't really mix them up, but make sure you take notes. And when you do something like this, take video and take photos. I always take a lot of photos so I can reference. So I just remembered, and I looked at my photos, this green dot corresponded with this green line. So that's pretty much it. Okay, so now I'm going to uncap all this stuff and then slide this under the car and get it in place. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm underneath the car. Just real quick, I went and bought another one of these fuel filter regulators. It was only 20 bucks. Just in case the one I had initially installed after this problem first developed was bad. Meaning that it's not an original and it's made in China, maybe it was a little defective. But anyway, I replaced it. But that's not why we're under here. Okay, so we're under the car, and I want to show you guys real quick. It's important you do this. Whenever you have like vacuum lines or any type of rubber lines, especially in a car that's 16 years old, has almost 250,000 miles like this one, give them an inspection, because broken lines or cracked lines will create vacuum leaks or fuel leaks. And upon first glance, this line looks fine, but then when you compress it, you could see it's got all cracks. Focus. There you go. See the cracks? So this one's not too bad, but what all you have to do is just cut back like half an inch or an inch of the line, if there's enough slack. And I know this one has enough slack. The fuel fill tube is just fine. This other one is cracked pretty bad. I don't even really have to compress it, but you could see all those cracks. So then I was inspecting these up here, and this one's got a big tear in it. I could see where the plastic nipple ends, and the nipple ends just before this crack ends. So that's probably creating a vacuum leak. And then the one on the inside has a cracked tail. So you can see this one has a crack there too. So I'll disconnect these and I'll trim them back. Yeah. So that should help with any vacuum leaks. And I checked all these back in here, they're all fine. This one I had replaced a while ago. That one's still fine. So I've got what, I got four lines that need some trimming. So after that, then I could install the fuel tank. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So, as promised, I've got my sliding center jack holding up the gas tank. I've got everything connected. The 1, 2, 3 lines back there are connected. Can't get in there with my phone. I've got the 2 fuel lines that go to the fuel filter / fuel regulator hooked up. And the lift has been lowered. Let's cycle the key a few times to build pressure, and then let's see if she'll fire. And then if she fires and if the fuel gauge works, then I guess tomorrow, because it's getting late, I will finish and bolt the tank in place. But most of the hard work is done. All right, so let's see what happens. Okay, the fuel gauge moved. It's got about 4 or 5 gallons. I guess that's accurate for a tank that's completely empty. Let's cycle the key one more time. And we'll do it a 3rd time for good luck. All right, she works. Let's check for any leaks. There's the fuel filter, fuel pressure regulator, no leaks. Everything is dry. All right. Okay, so we're back in the car. It's idling smooth. But we got to take it for a test drive. So it's got 230,925 miles to be exact. 230,000. It's idling really good. Okay, so it's idling smooth. The throttle response. I guess what I'll do next is, before I bolt the tank in place, I will do a fuel pressure test. Maybe I'll do that now. Check the fuel pressure. Then I will bolt the tank back in place, and then I will take it for a test drive. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so we got the fuel gauge hooked up to the Schrader valve over there. Now, if you recall from my previous video, when the car is off, but when you turn the ignition key to the on position and when the fuel pump is primed, you should have between 30 and 45 psi. So with the car off and the fuel pump primed, you should have 30 to 45 psi. I was getting a reading of 55 psi with the car off. So let me go turn the key and let's see what we get. Okay, so with the key turned on and with the engine not running, I am at 40 psi. So I am right where I'm supposed to be. With the car off, you should be between 30 and 45 psi. And I'm at 40. And previously I was at 55 with the car, with the engine off. Okay, now let's start the car and let's see what we get. Okay, so with the engine running, I am at exactly 50 psi, and the needle is holding steady. So with the car running, you want it to be at 44 to 54 psi. 44 to 54 psi, and I am at 50. And if you recall in my previous video, my needle was bouncing between 60 and 70, like crazy, like this. And when you gave it some throttle, it held steady at 64 psi. So that was too much. So here we have steady fuel pressure of 50 psi. Let's rev it up. And it's holding at 50 psi. So it looks like we fixed the problem. I will put the tank, bolt the tank in tomorrow, and then we'll take it for a ride. That'll be the ultimate determination. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. It's the next day. I am jacking up with my sliding center jack. I'm lifting up the tank, and I'm just trying to get everything aligned, and then we can bolt it in. All right, so Everything looks good so far. Alright, let me get back to it and I'll be back. Alright guys, welcome back. So the car is back all together. I didn't feel it was necessary to show you guys how to put everything back step by step. You just have to go in reverse of the removal process. I've driven the car around the block and it runs great. No more breakup, no more stalling, no more missing. I have no complaints. So there's the finished product. Everything works great. Happy with the way it came out. Maybe I could get this car back on the road. Alright guys, I'd like to thank you for watching. If you could please click the like and subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. And if you could remember to click the little bell symbol down to the right of the word subscribe. This way you get notifications of any of my future videos. And remember guys, I'm just an average Joe. I'm not a certified or trained mechanic, so if I could do this, you could do this. So pick up a wrench and get to wrenching. You just might save yourself $1 or $2. And please continue to watch me wrench. Thank you and have a great day.